we're embracing a paradigm shift in our approach to urban planning. We are moving away from the old top-down model of planning for the people to a more democratic and effective model of planning with the people. Community participation is not merely a step in our process, it is a central pillar of good governance and the only way to build inclusive and sustainable human settlements.
Is a partnership between the government of Kenya, UN Habitat, and the EU, who has funded this mission and this initiative for us to really pick up what the government of Kenya is doing and really focus on some element and streams. So key to it is to really look at how we bridge the financial gaps. I think it's important that when we talk on the affordability, we really unpack what is the meaning of affordable. Affordability is to create those particular units, but also to operate the unit. So to live in those units must make sense for people that are actually in a specific bracket and income level within the sectors that we are targeting. So we're exploring financial ecosystems. We're working with the Affordable Housing Board to make sure that we are not talking to things that the government is leading and seeing, and we're augmenting on the basis of the knowledge that comes from the ground. We've undertaken a merit of studies. We understand the dynamics. We've got a very detailed basic baseline survey, which we validated. We understand the social rental markets, which we're continuously testing. As I said, that we're working with the Affordable Housing Board and other partners that are participating in the space. We have an implementation strategy that sort of tells us what are the mechanics or what are the steps to follow. And these are not static documents, they're continuously being improved.
PNUA is setting a pace, and we are going to really upscale it, even as government, to other counties. So whatever we are doing it for the whole country, not just Kisumu. We are going to learn from it. So if it succeeds, and we are praying that it succeed, we are going now to take it as a best practice for us to upscale it.
You realize that Moroni is in the easterly end of Kisumu town, some 50 kilometers or so from the town center. So it is in a very remote area, and when we get interventions like what has been brought to us by PNUA, it is a blessing, a great blessing, and that's why I still say thank you to European Union. But from inception, because the first time we were having the session with the PNUA was on 29th of April last year. That is when we had our first session, and it was at Moroni Town Hall. And all we did was to ensure that PNUA is introduced not only to us, but also the scope of its coverage. That's when we learned that we were just lucky to be amongst the three piloting the program. It is Moroni, then there's some part of Kibuye, and also in Nairobi we have Exgrogon. So it's not widespread, yes, but the start of it is now giving us a real hope.
In the year 2007, we came together as the ex-Grogon people, because there were people who had already started eyeing our ad. And you see, in Nairobi, we have people, and especially because we are in a very prime area near the Jumuiya Hospital, our ad is very prime. So we have people like the former councillors, the MPs, they were eyeing our ad, and even they could burn our houses. So in 2007, we came together, we formed a self-help group. And after we formed the self-help group, we moved on because there were some people who are doing, they were in the KISI program. That is, we have people like Kabemoto and Ghetto. So we really inquired from them how we should join the KISI program. And so we came together, and after that we formed the self-help group. And then in 2010, we had people from Pamoja Trust, and I'm happy he is here. And then they joined us together, and they formed a cooperative. Through us, we are able to make a cooperative, ex-Grogon Slum Land and Housing Cooperative. And then from there, we have worked with KISIP, the Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, where now we are in KISIP 2 as ex-Grogon Settlement Scheme. And so as we talk today, in our settlement, they have already brought a flood right in our settlement, costing about 5 million. And also, as we speak today, we are waiting for a title from the county government.
I was born in Muhoroni. I've grown seeing it the way it is. And this development is like a dream come true. When we build these sectors, when we design a project like this, do we consider the disabled? For a long time, we've seen houses being built with narrow doorways and hallways. So I've not heard the full structure of the project, but I would like us to do these modifications. Some things like automatic door openers. We can advance on that. Wider doorways and hallways when we design our houses. And the public spaces. Accessible bathrooms with grabbers where the disabled people can hold on. Emergency exits, we talked about this. We have fires too in Muhoroni. Smooth and low floors, ramps and lifts. So we talk about the design, we talk about housing in general, but do we have the future when we exclude the community?
We are good to go. We are only waiting for them to come and start doing a foundation. We are as thirsty as yesterday because just to talk a little bit on the houses, the then municipal council built these houses, yes. But one funny thing that at the beginning, record says that they were renovating them. For some quite a longer time, the houses have not been renovated. And on our roofs, they were built with asbestos. We are not visitors on the issue of asbestos. It's an health hazard today. We still have them on our roofs, and currently, they are very much leaking. The UN Habitat group in Noah visited us, and the European Union, they've seen them, have taken pictures of the same. The houses are not, let me say, the houses are not for bigger families. We have a sitting room that when you fixed a 7-seater, you will not fix a table. You know what I'm talking about. The bedroom, you fix a 6x6, you will always be dressing on top of the bed. So when this idea came, we bought it with our 2 hands, that we like it, bring it to us, and we want to thank still the county government for having thought of engaging us as their tenants. Thank you very much.
Housing is a socio-economic right. So then how do you interpret housing? That housing must be linked to allocation of resources. So then the question would be that housing as a concept, how is it linked with planning frameworks within the county governments for resource allocation? So that then the expectation would be that Muhoroni, the settlements that have been settled on Kibuye, we have what we call the community strategic plans. And the community strategic plans are basically anchored in the village councils in the County Government Act. They're basically anchored in the urban forums in the country, Urban Areas and Cities Act. So that then, when the counties develop the county integrated development plans, then we will start seeing resource allocation to the implementation of the community strategic plans as a framework for planning and delivery of housing.
Most of the time when we go home, we are not just going back to a place we sleep, but we're going back to a place with a family. So it's the same logic that applies to the whole program. So it's just like Excellency and President of Anyons just mentioned, affordable housing, neighborhood, and sustainable future. So this is the key topics I extract from his great speech. So this is what we have done. I think in several points. That first of all, we should leverage the Kenya's natural resources, all the resources that we have, providing an independent energy for all the family in this program. And secondly, to ensure an affordable plan to make sure that these houses can be spread out to more people, a wider coverage. This is the true origin of the whole program. And last but not least is that we are not only building the houses, we are trying to building a neighborhood, which means together with the houses, we should have all the infrastructure, education, business infrastructure, all the social activities, because it brings the social inclusions and the resilience of the community.
Community participation is the most powerful tool we have. You may call me a populist, but I believe seriously in this. Because if I were to have been consulted when I was living at a certain estate in the past, I think I would have structured it differently. This is how we are building a more just, equitable, and sustainable Kisumu. One neighborhood at a time, with the people leading the way. And from one neighborhood to the other, we learn new lessons and do better. Thank you very much.
A lot of applause to the panelists for sharing and really contributing so much. And we look forward to having this settlement upgraded, and we are able to replicate this program, because that's what we are planning, that we are able to replicate to other counties and other settlements, because we have so many slums which are not yet within the big program of some upgrading.